Hi there, Stampers. This is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations. Welcome to today's live. I have a fun one for you today I think you're going to like. I have this adorable little card that when you open it up has an internal box like down at the bottom. And then the inside here has a tag. So I'm excited to show you how it's done. Let's get down to my desk. Okay, so this is the card we're doing today. And as I said, this pop-up is down at the bottom. And I'm saying it's down at the bottom because recently we did this one where it pops up out of the middle. So this time it's still an internal pop-up. It's just a little different. It's more of like a planter box style down here at the bottom. And I am using the Easter basket bundle, which unfortunately I think just sold out. I noticed either the stamp set or the dies, one of those was on the retired list. It's already gone. So those of you who took my class, I had like 22 of you. Thank you so much. If you didn't get a chance to take the class, but you do have the stamps and dies and you want my tutorials, I have added that class to my online store. So you can purchase like the lovely arrangements, the beautiful butterflies, any of the online fun fold classes I've done in the past. You can just go online and purchase the PDF tutorial and the videos that go with it without all the pre-cut material. Okay, so for the card base, I'm going to start out with a piece that is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. And then I have this piece here that we're going to actually attach onto the end, and we're going to extend this. So this here is 4 3/4 by 5.5. Now the girl that I got this from, I just dropped her name, I'm sorry. She had done this with 4 inches, 4 inches, and 4 inches so that, and she still glued them together, but it was so if you had 12 by 12 cardstock, you would score this at 2 inches, 4 inches, and then 8 inches. So you could do this out of half of a 12 by 12. But I'm going to make it the 4 1/4 for this one. And I want to attach this to the end, and I'm going to make it flush, but just for giggles, I'm going to just adjust this a little bit, just cut some little wedges there, and then I'm going to adhere it right there. Okay, now normally I do tear and tape. This time I'm doing liquid glue because I want to give it a little bit of wiggle time. Because what I want to do is I want to make sure that I can close the card and it's not going to interfere with my thing over here. So basically I want to close the card with that on the inside and then glue it down. So I know for absolute sure I'm going to be able to fold this one in and fold that one over, and it's going to go totally flat. Okay. Tape through there would be a great idea. And it's just because of the way that I cut them, it's just that it were flushing to the edge. So it probably would have worked the other way, but better safe than sorry when on camera, I always say. So this is going to be our base. We're going to decorate the base with some basic layers. Oh, and we're going to score this one at 2 1/8 because that's going to fold over. So I'm just scoring this in half. Okay. For our basic layers, I'm going to put something a little nondescript on the left here. So I'm just using some stripes. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. I have 4 by 5 1/4 that I'm using one of the scenes out of the one page that had all of the scenes attached to it. and they naturally cut at 4 inches and then 6 inches. So I had to trim a little off the top and a little on the bottom to make it 5 1/4. Then these are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. Also, I got a notice from Stampin' Up this morning that my pre-order box is finally on its way. I don't know why it took so long. I ordered it the day it was available and it didn't ship until today, but I did order the new in color cardstock so that I could update my color swatch books. I have a color swatch book that has like all of the Stampin' Up colors in it, where you get one of each of these on a ring. And then they have the label down at the bottom that says the color and the family and the part number. That's going to go down in the bottom. But I will have an update section for those of you who already have the color swatch book ring, where you can order just the new in colors. And that's already on the website because that's on its way. Okay, this one I'm going to add to the front, and I did the same thing. I trimmed off a little from the bottom to make it 5 1/4, but it cut off the bottom of my oval, which might have freaked some people out. But because I'm going to decorate the bottom and I'm going to put the basket and the bunny and the grass, nobody's going to notice that this oval doesn't go all the way to the bottom. So we're just going to add this one to the front. Okay, so far, basic card, basic layers, right? Okay, for the inside over here, I have this piece that is 4 1/4 by 1 3/4 to make a pocket that our little card is going to go into, the tag. And that one I am going to use tear and tape because I want that to stay put as we pull the tag in and out. I don't want this to move. Hello, there's all my friends there in the comments. I just went over and turned those on so I could see them. As always, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. And if I miss it, please ask again. That's why you're here live, is because you get to ask questions and find out how all this is done so that you can be successful at home. Okay, so I did not put adhesive at the top, so it's still going to be a little pocket. Okay, I'm going to decorate that with some designer series paper, and this is 4 by 1 1/2. Then for the tag itself here, I have a piece that's 2 3/4 by 4 1/2. And then I'm going to put just some designer series paper as a strip across the top. So it's 2 3/4 by 1, roughly. Oh, and we're going to stamp on this. So let's stamp on that first. So in case we make a boo-boo, I can flip it over and stamp on the other side. I'm going to go with Pretty in Pink. And on the inside, we're saying, hello, spring. Because we're almost done with Easter. Can you believe it's this Sunday? Seems like that came so fast. While I have this out, I'm just going to mount the For You, because that's going to be, ooh, on the outside. Sorry. Okay. We know this is going to take up some room at the top. About 1 inch. Okay, and I'm a little shy over here, not a big deal. My top piece is a little shorter, but because we're going to angle that, nobody's going to notice. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just make a pencil mark. I don't know, 3/4 of an inch over. What was it? We did. Yep, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so I'm going to watch my little grids on my graph here. And each one is 1/4 of an inch, so I'm coming over 3 squares. Right? Yeah. Maybe this was an inch. It is, it's an inch. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm coming over an inch and making a little mark and coming over an inch and making a mark. Okay, so I'm going to cut from that corner over here up to that. So from the bottom down here up to where that tick mark is. Okay, from the back I can see through the paper because it's just kind of darker where the DSP is. But basically I just measured over 3/4 of an inch from either side. And we don't have our hole punch anymore. That's the handheld, you know, the gripper style. But we do have this little set. So this has 1/8 of an inch. It comes with the 1/8 of an inch and then the 2 slotted sections. So that's a punch bundle that you can get. And I need to do the little reel on that, but you can use these slotted ones to make a little thing for your ribbon so that it doesn't come all unraveled and makes it easy. And then I do need a piece of ribbon again because I'm going to, okay. I just thought of something. As I'm getting out this ribbon, I'm noticing I put my layer down, and I probably shouldn't have. I was looking for these things. Have you seen these before? They're in the dental department and they're used for flossing. It's like to feed the dental floss through your teeth or something. But it works great for ribbon. And they're really inexpensive. And you can use them over and over and over again for the ribbon because we're not getting them gross, right? But it helps you feed that little bit of ribbon through the hole. Okay. So this is going to be able to fit right in there. What I mentioned, what I forgot was I should have run this under there on the front layer first. So let's see what I can do about that. I got lucky because I did tape instead of liquid glue. This is going to come off. Okay. Very gently I pulled that off. Sorry about that. What I want to do is run a little bit of tape. This is tear and tape across the middle. And then I'm going to take a strip of ribbon. And this is 12 plus 8, so 20 inches of ribbon. So I'm going to find the 10-inch, and that's going to be the middle. And I'm going to run that across and then put this on. That's going to allow me to have a ribbon closure instead of a belly band. It's just kind of an option. Normally I do the belly band, but I thought let's do something different. And so this time we're doing that. But again, these are for dental floss in there in the dental section of your regular store. And they feed ribbon through the hole. Awesome. All right. Now we are ready for this little box in here. So I have another strip of cardstock, and I'm using Summer Splash. This color is one of those ones that is going out. It's one of our outgoing in colors. It was Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, and there's one more. But they're all disappearing, and they've actually started running out of a few things already. I was looking at it, and I noticed that several of the ink refills are already sold out. So if you want to grab some of that cardstock or see if you can find the ink refill you're looking for, go grab that now, because they're not going to last for long. Okay, so this is going to go right in this corner over here. Okay, so I want it kind of butted up to this over here, this score line that's our middle section. And then it's going to come over here and attach on this side. Okay, now you can choose to flush it up with the very, very bottom, or you can choose to flush it up with the bottom of the Designer Series paper. Both ways work. I think I'm going to flush with the bottom. So I'm going to peel off one side. And I'm going to turn it upside down just because it's more comfortable for me to see and place from that side. And then I'm going to peel off this. And with everything flat, I'm going to fold this under and let it attach. And basically we're matching this score line with this score line. And so when it opens up, we're going to have that box in the corner. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about how that went in? Because the next thing we're going to do is put the little cross member in there. So I just need a small piece, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch by 3 inches. And it's going to be 3 inches because I'm going to score that 1/2 inch from either side. Okay, so 3 inches by 3/4 of an inch, scored at 1/2 inch and 2.5, which means when I fold these under for our little Z fold, it's going to be exactly 2 inches, which is going to make it fit right inside our box. Okay, so I'm going to put some tear and tape again. Okay, now if this is going to go forward, I want to make sure that it's not going to overlap that at all. So I probably want to make it go this way. Okay, so I'm going to take this end and I'm going to put it about in the middle. Okay. So I've only attached the one side. I've tried to keep it straight. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of maneuver this, and I'm going to peel off the backing. So I'm exposing the adhesive. And then I'm going to make it go flat, and then make sure it goes the other way as well. So it should go both directions. And overall, I'm not folding right. Something's off here. Sorry. This is not right. What did we do here? Something moved. Sorry about that. Everything I did should have worked just fine. You saw me closing earlier. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm making sure this is here. We're going to fold it over so that it goes flat, right? Flat. Then we're going to open this up, and then we're going to do our cross member. Oh, let me dry this. Okay, so this magic is undo. This stuff is fabulous. It's an adhesive remover. Once this lays flat, gives us our box. Then when we put this in, try this again. So when I'm putting the tear and tape on, I'm putting it on the little tabs on opposite sides. It's going to fold up like a Z, and that's going to be our connectors for where it adheres. Okay, let's try it this way maybe. Sorry, there's some adhesive in here. Anybody else ever forget this little spatula thing is under here for our take your pick tool? Sometimes I get really upset with myself for making mistakes on camera, and then I try to tell myself this is how I show you how to fix them, right? Everybody makes mistakes once in a while. Okay, for my zigzag strip, I'm going to put one side in. I'm aligning it with the top, kind of trying to center and then keep it straight. So adhered on this side, centered, straight. Now I want it to hook over there. And I'm going to have it hook over there by exposing the adhesive and then closing the card. So I want to kind of fold it over. And can you see in there? See the little strip? We're going to peel that off. Ouch. And then close our card. And it's going to automatically stick to that side. Okay, so I just exposed the adhesive. I'm holding the whole thing flat. I'm going to flatten out the card, and voila! Now we have our cross member. Okay, I'm going to put some adhesive on the little scraps that are going to go on the outside. So these are 1 3/4 wide by 1 1/4 tall. And it's just to kind of match those outside panels so that it all kind of flows. Right, now we're going to do some die cutting. So you're going to want to get out your stamps and stamp the bunnies. So I have the 2 bunnies, and then I have the chocolate bunny. Then I've die cut our basket, a bunch of grass. Oops. And I've got this all pre-done, so this will go faster. I did do the carrots, the whole carrot in green, and then I did the partial carrot in pumpkin pie. And I'm using little scraps, and so it didn't go all the way to the top, but that's totally fine because I'm going to cut the tops off anyway. So I'm just giving it a little bit of a snip and coming down at kind of a little bit of a curve because, you know, the tops of carrots look a little curved. And then I'm going to place it on top of this. I don't know if it was one of my last videos or the class I did, but I was saying in one of those that occasionally I'll come in with a marker and do the little lines that carrots have, just for a little added texture. It doesn't really matter a whole lot in these boxes because they're going to be kind of a little bit buried, but just a little tip. I also, when I colored the bunnies, I wanted to make the inside of their ears pink. And I stamped them in basic gray onto smoky slate. And when I try to color on smoky slate with a pink marker, it doesn't really come out pink because it's got that gray in the background, and especially since they are alcohol markers. So what I did was I took a white colored pencil and I colored in the ears and on the nose with the white first, and then went over it with the Stampin' Blend. Okay, so doing the white first gave it kind of a pigment underneath so that when I applied the pink, it showed up a whole lot better. So there's white on his nose and his ears. And then I used, I think, Azure Afternoon for his eyes just to make them blue. But if you're looking for a way for Stampin' Blends to show up on colored cardstock and be a little more vibrant, that white pencil is a great trick. White pencils are great to have anyway. They make some great shadowing ideas. My friend Alyssa Tilsner, who does some amazing coloring, is always using pencils as her little accents for shading and highlighting. And oh my gosh, she does amazing stuff. It looks so realistic. I'm jealous. She's in Australia and she's been taking some professional coloring classes, and just amazing what she does with our Stampin' Blends. Okay, I'm just putting a mini glue dot on the end. These glue dots I'm using are from our paper pumpkin kit. I often get asked, you know, what are those and how do you use them? Because we're used to our mini glue dots coming on the roll. And so normally you just peel it back, you place the thing on the glue dot, and it lifts off and it's ready to attach. Okay, when you're doing it with these, you're going to remove the whole thing, the cover and the mini glue dot. And you're going to move the two things over to your bunnies, or whatever it is you want to put your mini glue dot on. And then you're going to peel off the cover. So it's kind of like using Stampin' Dimensionals, in that you move the whole thing and then reveal the, oh, and I forgot the grass on there. Okay, I wanted grass in front of there, and I want it 2 inches. So I'm going to need to cut about there. And then when I'm ready to attach it, we're going to peel off and expose the sticky. And if you have problems with these little things, the back of your mini dimensionals and everything being kind of all over the place, have you seen those little cups that are for weeding vinyl? You know what I'm talking about? They're kind of like a round little cup. Sometimes they're on a ring, so you could wear it on your finger, but it's got kind of a top like this, that when you push down on it, things go in, but they don't come out. One of those is great for storing all these little miscellaneous things that end up everywhere. And there's also, if you look on Amazon, there are little tiny mini vacuums that are just little round things that run on battery that you can just go over your desk with, and it will remove things too. There we go. That looks better. He looks better in the grass, right? Okay. Does anybody have any exciting plans for Easter this weekend? The grandkids are in another state, so we don't get to see kids for Christmas or for Easter, which is kind of a bummer. I think kids make the holidays fun. Oh, and I forgot the grass again. Okay, so when I put the grass in the back, because I didn't put it on before I stuck the bunny down, I'm just going to stick the grass on the other side of our little cross member. That'll work. Okay, so remember I need to make it shorter, so I'm going to cut it off right before that little short one. So I'm cutting off 2 blades. And then we're going to put some on the back. Okay. So that when I go to attach it, I'm just going to remove those and set it right here in front. And the grass is done in Shy Shamrock. And the base is Summer Splash, and the ink I'm using is Pretty in Pink. And they're all on their way out. Okay, this is our Pretty in Pink for the flower here as well. Okay, when the glue dot is bigger than whatever you're putting it onto, you're going to want to make sure to kind of roll it around to the front, so all the adhesive is on the front so that it does not stick to the back of the card. We wouldn't want the whole thing to glue shut. See, now it folds all perfect. Okay, then we're ready to decorate the front. I'm going to go ahead and tie it closed, just so it holds better when I'm trying to add things to it. Kind of a bummer when I can't use my bow maker tool. The bow would be so much prettier. Okay. So for the basket, I'm going to put my bunny in the back. Oh, I'm going to put him on the side. Okay, I'm thinking the wrong thing. Okay. All right, so that's going to go right here, but I want to put that down before I put down the grass, because I want to make sure my grass is out in front. Okay, so these are going to need to get clipped down just a little bit. So it looks like that third one is where they're going to kind of overlap. Thank you for those of you who are hanging out with me. I know we're getting down to the easy part and you can probably figure this out. I always notice I lose people when we get down to the end. I'm going to put our bunny behind the grass too. Okay, now for the Easter eggs that I put in the basket and along the bottom, you can do your choice of whether you want to stamp them and die cut them out, or die cut them or fussy cut them out of the designer series paper. I kind of did the designer series paper this time because I thought it would be quick and easy to attach to the card. And one of those little eggs I'm going to put on the front right here where I have the little overlap of the grass. By putting an egg there, nobody's going to be the wiser that that's where they join. Okay, we're going to take a few of these little eggs that will go into the basket itself, and then I have the bow that's going to go up top. And then I used one of the resin dots to put over the bow as a little bit of extra something. Okay, so when I'm off camera, I'll finish putting some eggs in there, but I think you get the idea. That we're just going to fill up the basket with some eggs. Oh, and then the For You, I stamped and I cut it out tight. Meaning, when I stamped it, it was still too big no matter what I kind of cut it out of. So when I get ready to stick it to the card, I just tightly cropped around it with my scissors and then put mini dimensionals on the back. So that takes up way less room on the front of the card, allowing me to have those eggs down there at the bottom. Okay, so there you go. There is the outside. And then when you open it up, we have that nifty little pop-up on the inside with our removable tag for writing your message. So thank you for being here. I appreciate those of you who come and hang out with me as we play around with stamps, ink, and paper. Again, as always, even if you're watching this on a replay, if you have questions, if something's not coming out right, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. That's why I help you guys. This one's not in a book yet. I do have 4 Fun Fold tutorial books that are out there, and this is not in one yet, but it will be in volume 5. So hang in there. It's coming. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on Thursday. Thank you so much.